This is the Groveland Recreation Committee. We are meeting on March 31st of 2015. And we are in videotape for those that don't know it.
Alright.
Okay, Elise, you're on, honey.
Okay, so last we met was February 10th, 2015. In attendance were Pam, Todd, Dan, Doug, Aaron Merrill, and Elise. Aaron made a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting, and those passed. We went into a basketball discussion. Let's see. We are still, as of this last meeting, waiting for the bill from the school.
Yes, I'm still waiting because,
It was an issue.
well, he did see it. It was an issue, he's correcting it. Okay.
Okay. We discussed next year doing reversible pennies instead of t-shirts for everybody, so what we'll do is have them go down to the soccer shop in Georgetown and actually order their own pennies. They'll be reversible, so it doesn't matter if they're playing another Groveland team, they can flip them over, and we won't have to worry about too many overages. It'll reduce the costs and ultimately be easier for people to, have their pennies already, won't have to hand them out.
And they can use them multi-years.
And they can use them multi-years, they can hand them down to siblings, very similar to what they do in soccer, so that seemed like a good idea. That was it for basketball, and we moved on to softball. Registrations were still coming in. It was early in the season, so I don't think we had as many as we probably have now, so we're probably gonna cancel the in-person next year. We didn't get good attendance on that. They're gonna send out another flyer.
It's all in person, but
Yeah. And let's see, I think Dan had planned to communicate that at the end of February to all the other students, and I've seen a couple go out. Registrations have been flowing in. We get 1 or 2 a day now, so I think people are finally realizing that there's not gonna be snow soon, and
don't count on that.
Groveland Day, I don't believe we did much by way of discussion for that. And for new business, Doug had proposed discussions about a girls' tournament in Maryland or Disney for next year, and that fundraising would need to be done, was something they were going to be looking into for that. And let's see. We discussed as a program to start thinking about a master plan to submit to the state for our goals and things that we want to accomplish as a program and committee, and that was something I think we probably all need to discuss today.
Yes, it's next on the agenda.
Excellent, and that's all I have.
Okay, very good. So master plan, we have to come up with this master plan because we are being hounded.
We are, okay.
Do we want to make a motion to accept those?
Yes, can I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from February
10th.
We'll take a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Yes, we do need to come up with a master plan. So that we need input from baseball, soccer, on what they want in the future. And softball.
Basketball.
In basketball. Well, unless we build the gym, there's not much we can do on basketball.
We're getting many ideas.
So as like a
We actually
parks
talked about a sports complex.
That'd be nice, that'd be awesome.
as a Parks and Recreation Department, all together, I was not here to
Yes.
discuss that.
Yes, all together.
Okay.
Like what we would do at Stacy's Curve, not Stacy's Curve, but in the pits.
Okay.
In the future, what we would do there, what we would do to finish the pines, anything we needed it, for baseball. So that everybody's gonna think on this and we will have it by the next meeting, because
Okay.
otherwise, because somebody's gonna take this by the horns and write something up.
Mm.
If you got something, start emailing it around.
Are there parameters to what the plan should consist of?
No, it can be anything, because we actually did have a whole sports complex in the last master plan. an indoor with skating rinks and a swimming pool and, you know, dream big.
Yeah.
It was that land issue, I believe, that came up.
I know,
Beyond that, nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay, basketball, everything is in,
Missing
except,
basketballs.
I'm still missing basketball, so any coaches out there that are holding basketballs, we want them.
They show up periodically at my door. I'm home really
You
big
just
of
ring the
basketballs.
doorbell and
But,
So the other thing to do for the school, that is done.
I don't even know how many are in my garage. I forgot to bring them tonight to put in the room. I think there's 2 or 3 outstanding bags.
Basketball.
But Steve knows who they are. He's out of them. They're always late.
Do we have any lessons learned from this season?
It was a pretty smooth season.
Yeah.
It was no major. I mean,
Did they lose a lot from the snow? A lot of days or?
no, I think it was like 1, maybe 2.
Oh yeah, 2 Tuesdays.
Yeah. But it wasn't, there were no complaints, there were no,
No issues with getting into the gym?
no. Well, there was a few issues in the beginning for parents who forgot the rule of not knocking on the door before 5:30. When they see an empty gym, they assume you can
Go in.
go in. I know that's in discussions in June with the superintendent. They're all sitting down together. I know Dan will be there for softball. Steve, I think you went last time, or
No, I went last
Okay.
time.
I know he's gonna do that again in June, and the superintendent said he had some ideas, since there's no one in it. So,
After school programs in the mini gym or the calf?
Well, sometimes they're in the big gym.
yeah, but it wasn't as often as mostly empty.
And that ends at 5:30 for them, right?
Yes,
Right.
so that was the only issue, that was taken care of quickly and without police intervention.
There are other schools in the district that do allow you to get in right at 5 at the Page. There isn't an after-school issue there.
So we need to, we'll work that out again, we'll have more time, 'cause he's been thinking about it, he's been thinking about a few changes.
How are the refs? Any complaints on that? Were they
No,
good?
Paul was great, Paul Hickey,
Mhm.
and the people love him because he makes sure all the kids are included, the kids who are not getting the ball. He makes sure that they're the ones either throwing the ball, they're the ones throwing the ball in, they're the ones who are they're touching it somehow with him, those guys.
Is there an opportunity to discuss with them bulking the ref payments or setting up some sort of account so there's not the daily, weekly check-in and out?
It's gonna have to be when we go to the new system, which is not for another whole year.
He did say, because we did talk, Steve did mention it, he says, as long as they know ahead of time,
Mhm.
it's not a big deal, it's when they're expecting it. So if we know, as long as they know ahead of time, it's gonna be,
A couple weeks.
they're fine with it. Okay. As long as they know, and it's not sprung on them.
Do you
Going
have
into the
scorekeeping?
season. Hmm?
Do you have a ref scorekeeping or just somebody from the crowd or?
Someone from the crowd.
Yeah.
It's fairly easy. It's not a big deal.
My son figured it out.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, some leagues, they do it and they'll like hire a scorekeeper and they'll keep the money. You know, they'll come in with the money and they're the scorekeeper every week. When the refs come in, they pay them.
No, that was Pam's job and my job.
Right.
You were the scorekeeper too?
No, we don't pay.
Pam wouldn't even get out of her car if she could help it. She'd roll the window down.
Here you go.
But that's it, there was nothing major. I know we wanted to go reversible pennies and possibly talk about dropping the price $10.
If they're paying for the shirt, yes.
Cause that was the shirt cost, so.
Right, so why couldn't we?
Other than that, I know Jen she did suggest Masco's uniform. It's really nice. It's like $7 more, but it looks a lot more comfortable. I think it's the one that the girls are wearing for AAU, that style.
The tank top?
The
The
tank top.
reversible mesh?
Yeah, but it has the collar. It's not like. Do you have that? It's not like a stitch collar. Like it has like actual collar.
Oh.
And it was like $7 more, and she suggested that that would make it I think 17 for that. But they could wear it. They bought it bigger. She's pretty good at getting bigger and passing it to people. So we could discuss that. She suggested socks and matching shorts, but I don't think that's not.
Of course.
I mean, they can if they want, but it's.
That's right, yeah.
We were gonna tell her, which it would have to be here, but we were thinking of telling her, no, that's not, it would be optional if they wanted socks and shorts.
Yeah.
But
For
we
rec ball, we're just gonna, okay.
No,
And names on the back.
and half of them aren't gonna wear the socks anyway.
So Steve was like, yeah, no, she said, well, you have to bring it to them. He's like, I will, okay, but I personally don't see them needing matching shorts and pants, socks, but.
Yeah.
They all wear those $15 pair of socks anyway, so.
But that's it. The basketball's here.
That your job, Philip?
It's softball time. Registration was slow to get started. We raised the prices this year, so I didn't know if that was one of the factors. But when we went and looked at like the other towns, we're still maybe the cheapest one around. So maybe it was just the winter, but things have picked up. We're maybe down 10% from last year, so the numbers are pretty solid. We closed the junior and senior division, so that's grades 5 through 8. We closed that today. The amount of teams we're going to have is due next week to the Essex County. So it looks like right now we're basically at one team for each age group. We've got for 7th and 8th we have 17, which is a terrible
Oh,
number.
that's a hard one.
Yeah.
But if you split it, one
You
team's
don't
gonna
have-
end up with 8, and if one girl doesn't show up, 7's a forfeit. So you're stuck. There's no way around it. So we'll play with 17. The other two age groups are really good. I mean, they've basically got like 12 apiece, which is perfect.
That's good, yeah.
So that works out. We had an issue last year with some people paying. This year we've got 6 that haven't paid yet. So we're working that. We'll try to get that resolved before we get started. We'll send out another friendly email reminder to people to get that. Dan is working the field. I mean, it's still covered in snow, so he's out there praying for sunshine.
What's that?
I really thought I'd go out and be fans or something out there.
How's the high school gonna make up all their games?
They got an extension to play later into June, so they'll.
And hopefully the seniors come back and play.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Yeah.
Because they'll be out in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they're all due to start next week for the high school. First game is, and they're using the Pines for several of the games this year.
And it hasn't even reached mud stage yet.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Like I said, he's been down there shoveling. His big thing is getting. Well, he wants the batting
The plows
cage
on the
freed up to at
ATV.
least use that, and he couldn't get the door open because there was so much ice. So
I thought there was some issue with the electricity.
that, as far as I know, there was still no electricity down there.
So he was able to get in though.
He can get in, yeah. So the last I heard, they were going to buy a generator to run. I mean, you need to run the batting cage with electricity. So that's the last I heard.
When's the season supposed to start?
Next week.
Well,
For them.
the high school starts next week. We start the week after April school vacation. So Monday the 27th it starts for us. But our older girls go to the Washington D.C. trip, so likely the seniors wouldn't play that week. They'll play the following week. But I mean, for the youth league,
This will go around.
they're going. We go to the end of school, and now they're going to they go on the 24th. So the weather's not going to impact us as much because we're pushing our season a full week out, so we'll be okay there. The league we're in, the Essex County, added 3 new towns, so they've probably, like for example, Linfield, they brought 7 teams just by themselves. Amesbury joined, and Manchester, Essex joined. So, and Seabrook is talking about coming in next year.
So
So,
you get some different looks.
yeah, I mean, it's actually
That's good.
there's 20,
Not have
there's
to play Raleigh
24
7
junior
times.
teams, and there's 23 senior teams. So it's split into 2 divisions. and you see a lot of different teams.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess the league is real popular, so a lot of the other towns that used to try to do it on their own.
And running out of people to play against
They have
too.
to say, yeah, they said, let's join this, so that's one there. What else is there? He's gotta get the uniforms ordered, that's why we closed registration, so that'll be next week, that's his assignment next week, is to get that going.
How are you guys with equipment?
I just gonna ask that.
Honestly, I haven't been into the shed, he, like I said, he dug it out and went inside, he hasn't mentioned that to me. I didn't get a lot of prep information prior to tonight's meeting, so we were kind of passing in the parking lot of practice tonight, said, hey, stop by the Easy Park. So, so I'll find out on that, we'll get some stuff ordered.
It's actually, I have a tax number.
Oh, you do, good, alright, yeah, that'd be good.
Is there wiggle room in the teams for all the late signups?
Yeah,
Could you split this
the only one
if you've got,
we would need, you really need 10 apiece, I mean, you play
Right.
with 10, so you,
so if you got 4 more, could you?
oh yeah, but I
Split
don't,
'em.
honestly, I don't
You don't
see
think they're
us-
coming?
No, because
You
at
know
that,
the kids.
well, that 7th and 8th grade, you've had them in the program
Yeah.
since they were maybe potentially in 2nd or 3rd grade, so I don't see anyone joining for the first time,
Yeah.
not at that age.
How many did you get in the 5th, 6th?
We have 11, we lost a couple to Merrimack, which was unfortunate. It's actually against the rules, but it happened.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you see
'cause-
one of them had a cast on?
No, I didn't know that, no,
No.
no. What happens in
See
West
what happens
Newbury,
when you leave?
that's bad karma. West Newbury's having the same issue where their players have been going to Merrimack. So the director has to approve it, but what happens is the parents, the Groveland parents start inundating you with emails saying that they want their daughter to go play for.
What is the draw with Maryland?
Yeah.
Well, they play with them in the summertime. We didn't have a U10 team, we had a U12 and a U16. So the young girls went to
We
play
weren't
for
picking them
Merrimack.
up soon
We didn't
enough.
have enough volume, so they
Right.
went to play for Merrimack. But now, as they get older, even though they play for us in the spring, they want to continue playing for the team they play for in the summertime, so it's fine. It's fine, and we have a great program, if they choose to walk away from it, so be it.
Well, I was gonna say, if you had a couple to spare on that, throw the good ones up to fill up that second
He
team.
doesn't have the
We don't
space.
have, we have 12,
Yeah,
so,
that's-
and
yeah.
that's what we talked about today.
Yeah.
We're kind of
That's
stuck, and then you say, okay, then you can bring up a couple of third. It gets to the point where
Yeah.
we're just stuck at
numbers.
17 this year, so.
Erin knows about that.
But I think a couple of them are playing basketball. Both Emily's playing this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's potential that you sometimes only
Yeah,
have 14.
that's true,
you know,
yeah.
So we'll be okay. I think that is it. Nothing else comes to mind. Oh, and then with less teams, the fact that the high school is using the field won't be an issue at all. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Because we're gonna have less home games this year. We've lost one full team, so, actually, we've lost 2 full teams. 3, 4, 5, 6, so we'll be okay there. I don't see any issues with, sharing the field.
I see my trip down
Yes. That's not,
We'll go there later.
okay.
Did you guys get a couple of Saturdays in yet, or?
We have the gym, every Friday, that
Oh,
started,
Friday, yeah.
second week in March. That's going okay. I did not know about the rules of when you get in, so we sometimes have been going in the front door, and the janitor lets us know, one time he said to me, it's 5:29. You got another minute, so we now, we wait till 5:30. But it's worked out good. Last year we had to pay the cost on Saturdays.
Right, as long as you go in during the week.
It worked out. I mean, we are losing some, the school dance. The middle school girls do not give up the dance, which I understand. So we lose that, and then the following week is Good Friday, so I don't know what the turnout will be this Friday.
Okay, so next year we fight for a
A
different
different
night.
night, absolutely.
No, they postponed
Because we did get crowded out of
Oh,
that.
yeah,
We
there
got
was
pushed
one,
out.
yeah.
Yes.
That was the postponed date, yeah.
So,
So that will remember for June then.
yeah.
We don't want
yeah,
Friday.
Yeah, Fridays are too bad because of that.
That's what I missed.
Yeah, no,
Okay, Pines, we got nothing much to report other than we have no electricity, we have no fields at the moment. The new fields are not operational this year at all,
And that's definite.
That is period.
Even in,
Yeah.
even in the fall, because we,
even in the fall.
Because they would have grass to be strong enough at that point, right?
Well, it has to all be reseeded when
Yeah,
they're done.
right,
That's just temporary.
yeah.
okay.
Now, what's the electricity issue?
I don't know what happened to the electricity.
line suppose.
Full of water or something.
Something
I-
expanded and popped the
Yeah, I
line
don't
or
know.
something.
No, I think it was,
So we shut it off.
I thought it was shut off as part of the construction
Part of the
itself.
construction, really?
That's what I thought I heard.
Huh.
But, I assume we're getting it back soon. I mean. the
We're not
light-
making any promises down there.
They were a night game scheduled for the other this year, so, for the high school. You know, we play in the summertime, we have night games.
It'll work out. Okay.
Flashlights, bring a flashlight.
You guys, you guys.
We've played
Our
headlight
headlights,
games
we've-
before,
yeah,
we've
exactly,
played
we've done
headlight
that.
games.
Before we had lights.
Back in the day. That's right.
Back in the olden days. Okay, Groveland Day, we really don't have much to report because 2 people went to the meeting.
Yeah, that's
Did you
tough.
want to possess this?
Hmm?
Yeah, so she's doing possess first.
I don't really know. I know there's lots of people that wanna do it, but I need a lot of help and I got a lot on my plate with baseball and the CPA project that's upcoming, so.
Can you pass the buck over them? Will somebody take charge of it?
Well, I think that the 2 people that won it the past 2 years said if
They
they won
should.
the trifecta, then they would take it over.
Oh, they want the
Yeah.
trifecta first, can we just give them credit for it?
You know, I tried
I
to
think
brand
the
it a
parents
couple
won
of
in the
different-
past, we can count that.
Yeah, no, I don't,
Is
I
that
think they won
trifecta?
it all for themselves, I don't know if they're willing to share. I don't know, I'll think on it.
I know Chesterton is going to possibly hold their own road race.
Really?
Yes. Right.
Well, they were 90% of our
They were a lot of
attendance.
it.
And they did ask for, like, our lesson, we had no problem handing that over to them.
Right,
So, that would work. They're gonna start at Chesterton and go somewhere. So,
from Chesterton to go somewhere. Do they know the cost of the police?
I think they had no problem with it.
Okey-doke.
I don't know. I just know that she said that they were going to
Wow.
look into doing their own because it was something they look forward to.
Who do you talk to over there?
It's gonna be happy to see them though.
Oh, I just was wondering.
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Okay, we need new business.
Me?
I'll make a deposit now that I know the softball is closed.
Okay, you're gonna just throw PayPal in?
Yeah, because you guys closed it, so there are no
Well,
payments
no,
No,
coming
it's
in.
it's
young kids.
the young kids, so, it's still open for K through 4.
Okay.
So we just closed the junior and senior division.
When are you gonna close it for that? Cause then
The
I'll,
15th of April.
okay, then I'll do it then.
Okay.
And there's been no like requests for refunds or anything so far, like no one signed up and then backed out, so, there's been no issues. Mostly, I think most people have paid this year online, which is really good. I don't think there's been that many checks,
Yeah.
so,
That's great.
yeah, I think people are more comfortable using it.
Yeah, I think there's only 3 checks altogether.
Yeah.
These
I
are
just
all
gave
being
two
had,
today, yeah.
and I had one for the night of signups.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first year we did it for basketball, it was chaotic, it was, you know,
It just takes a while to.
yeah, but now I think everyone is comfortable doing it and
Yes.
it's worked out well.
And as long as you're there with Dan, we're okay.
Yeah, he's.
Because
he
Dan
wants
is
to
our
keep-
paper man.
Exactly. Keyboard.
I think people are getting familiar with it because all the programs are doing more online registrations and it's just
I think it's the
easier.
same system too.
Yeah,
The exact same, so it's.
Exactly.
Now, Erin, did you get an email from Mike about upcoming things with the selectmen and the finance committee?
yes, I did.
Okay,
I will be there. As many as I can.
okay. The finance committee really had some questions about what community preservation recommended this year.
Yes, I got to see that.
Yes.
That was a fun meeting to watch.
I don't think Erin's is really an issue, because there's one of the members of the finance committee is on your board, I think.
That is correct. There's a lot of overlap in all of our boards, I think, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, because he at least could speak up during the meeting when some of the questions were
Right.
asked.
Right, which was, I told him, you know, thank God you were there because
Yes, and there is
you
some,
were able to answer the questions that nobody else in the room would.
right,
would
there was
be
still
able to.
some that really don't understand what community preservation can do it.
Sure.
So there were a lot of questions that somebody should have already known the answers to. But unless we get any new business, we're cooked, we're done.
We're done.
Motion to adjourn, folks.
I'll make
Motion to adjourn.
8:03.
We're getting
I'll
fast all the
second that.
time.
I second.
You want to start it?
I third.
Okay.